So now we're getting into the shenanigans. Black people are actually going to be free. Well, let's make them still feel like they're inferior. What it is, what it ain't, it's your girl Umbrella, and I am back with another video. You guys, we're at 1,000 subscribers. Oh my god, y'all, I'm so pressed. Hold on, wait. We are at 1,000 plus subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to this channel. Let's just get right into the video. If you watched the last video, which a lot of y'all did watch the last video, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm still in the comments responding to y'all, so meet me in the comments of that video, and let's get the comment section blown up in this video. If you're ready for this topic, if you're ready for the concept, make sure you like, comment down below, and subscribe to this channel. This is going to be hair routines during slavery, okay? So let's just get right into it. It's like the 16th to the 17th century. That's what we're going to go over in this video, okay? During slavery, slaves were captured and their entire identity, meaning their religion, their race, their tribe, their family, their name, and also their hair. Settlers and traders claimed that they shaved black people's hair off because of disease. In actuality, they just removed their hair to traumatize them and to remove them of their dignity. It really was like a humiliation ritual. It had nothing to do with disease. We don't carry lice historically or anything like that. So that was just a humiliation tactic that they did. And it didn't work, okay? Maybe a little bit, but not really, okay? Interesting enough, when enslaved people made their way to America, the first thing they thought about doing was coping with their trauma of their hair loss, because I told y'all in the last video how hair was important to the community. It was very, very important. It was well taken care of. It was something that black people, African people were used to doing and maintaining over a period of time. So when they were captured and shackled, naturally they couldn't do anything to their hair. So they thought of using soap and broken glass to shave stars and moons in their hair, to use that as inspiration for just survival. And I think that that is a beautiful approach to, you know, something so devastating, like so quickly losing your family, losing everything that you knew. Your entire routine just vanishes, right? Fast forwarding to black people living in America and being enslaved in America, the only materials or ingredients that they could use on their natural hair was butter and bacon grease. And mostly the enslaved people that worked in the house had to find a way to give it to the people that worked in the field to use for their hair. And that was the newfound routine of the products that they were using. And they were used to using herbs and shea butter and you know, natural things that would help their hair flourish and be moisturized. But they had to utilize each other for help, and they had to utilize what they had. And just imagine, like, you using something as a substitute that's not really the best quality. It's insane. Slave people went from, or African people went from taking care of their hair on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, yearly basis, to only having one day a week to take care of their hair, and that was Sunday. So Sunday was the only day that black people, enslaved people, could work on their hair, because they were working for, you know, their slave masters every single day, all day. So Sundays was their day of rest, and they had to combo that with their hair care. Newly enslaved people cut their hair short, if you know, from when their hair got cut off. A lot of the men, they got their hair just cut straight off, but a lot of the women, their hair was cut short. So as it grew, they would, instead of doing the extensive hairstyles that you saw in the last video, they moved to doing just plaits and just cornrows. And they made sure that their hair didn't grow long because it was too much to do. So they kept their hair very short, you know, cornrows, you know, plaits. That kind of hairstyle was just easy to maintain and easier to wash on Sundays. So I do want to go back and say that women that worked in the field, they also kept their hair wrapped because they were outside all day. So they wanted to protect their hair from the sun. So now we're going to get into the nitty gritty with the cornrows and the plaits. So they weren't just functional for, of course, hair maintenance. Black people, enslaved people, used braids to hide seeds and gold when they were escaping to freedom. You know, being in the woods, being in the wilderness, you know, they found whatever food they could along their journey. They would hide it in their hair. So they would tuck it right in the cornrow, boom. And not only that, but the cornrows and the plaits signified direction in which to walk towards the North Star to freedom. So, for example, some of the curvy, like, parts in their hair and cornrows would signify waterways. So, that's just an example of ways that, you know, cornrows are functional for our lifestyle. They're not just cute, okay? It was about survival. Now we're getting to 17th and 18th century. So this is when wigs, you know, the powdered white wigs became more popular in European culture. So they, of course, inhabited that into what the slave master looked like, what the new presidents looked like, blase blase. So now that we're in 17th and 18th century, we know that the wigs are very popular, and that's what kind of the aesthetic, like the powder wigs, the puffy shirts, like that type of aesthetic was like in the slave master home, and it symbolized status and wealth. Some enslaved people even manufactured or made their own wigs so that they could blend in easier when they escaped, which I thought was like pretty spot on and pretty cool. They could appear to look as though they were a freed man. The late 1700s, we get into, you know, enslaved people and freed men. So some people did have paperwork where they were free, but they had to take it everywhere. And sometimes that paperwork was manipulated by their slave master, or it was lost, you know, or promised to them and then they would get killed. Things like that would happen. In 1786 in New Orleans, the governor, Esteban Moreau of Louisiana, made a law that decreed that freed women had to wrap their hair up. So now we're getting into the shenanigans. Okay, now they're starting to see that, wait a minute, like, black people are actually going to be free. Well, let's make them still feel like they're inferior. Okay, so let's tell the women that they have to wrap their hair up. Okay, we're centuries since the first black people arrived here. That means that their hair is longer. If I'm gonna be free, I can grow my hair as long as I want to. Now I don't have to worry about keeping it short no more. So we talking about women growing their hair longer. We talking about women wearing their hair in the little cute, messy black girls now wearing their hair in a cute little messy bun, and we're starting to attract attention of the white man, and not in that way. Black women historically have been raped by white men and slave owners, but we're talking about white men wanting to step out into the sun with a sister girl because she's bad to the bone. And this is the era as well where some of those babies that came from that rape are starting to get older and maturing. So they're, you know, the Creole women, you know, they're mixed with white, and, you know, the white men are starting to be more attracted to them. White women saw that black women were getting more attractive because of their newfound status of being free, and they were like, we're not having that. They not about to walk around looking better than me. So a white woman or a group of white women went to the governor and asked him to make this a law that black women had to wrap their hair up in public. Okay. I know, how could you be that damn messy? So it was done. Governor Esteban made the law that freed women had to cover up their hair in hair wraps, and they called it Tigons. So it became the Tigon law. That's what it's called. Black women followed suit. They was like, okay, you want us to wrap our hair up? Well, we about to show y'all what a wrap really is. So I'm gonna insert some pictures, of course, of what the girls were giving back in the days. And when I say we snapped, we snapped. We took that law and we ran with it. Okay, like Olympic medal ran with that law. Okay, who they was gonna check? Not us. That was our time to shine. That was our time to get creative. So black women started embroidering their head scarves. They started using different patterns, different textures, different wrapping methods, and it actually enhanced our beauty more than it took away from our beauty. And that's what it was meant to do. It was intended to hide black women's beauty and show a clear difference and distinction between white women and black women. And it did, but it backfired. Not the way that they wanted it to. Bygones actually became the fashion statement of the late 1700s, because we actually took the law, which was made to make us feel inferior, and we flipped it on them right in front of their face. Even some white women started to wear their hair in head wraps because it was such a fashion statement. People all around the world started to wear hair wraps because of us. Okay. Really thought that it was going to make us unattractive, and it actually turned out that it made us bad to the bone, bad to the bone. This law actually ended in 1803 when the U.S. acquired Louisiana during the Louisiana Purchase. That's when it went out the window. So it only was a thing for a few years, and that was it. So that was embarrassing, if I can say the least. Lastly, in 1793, there started to be a wave of advertisement talking about black hair, meaning white people were starting to talk about, advertise in the newspapers, runaway slaves, basically describing what they look like. That's when we saw the first articles of white people describing what they saw in us. Most of these words included, but not limited by, Negro, mulatto, which is a mixed person, someone that's mixed with white, someone that has maybe one black parent and one white parent, basically. They described us as dark, copper colored, sometimes yellow, and they described our hair as bushy and woolly. This did not stop and never has stopped. But this was the beginning of also another tactic into making us feel like our hair is unkept, our hair is messy, our hair is dirty, we are dirty looking. You know what I'm saying? It's just, this was another step in that plight of making black people feel inferior about themselves. I'm going to end the video right here. This is going to be a part one. Okay, there's going to be another part to this video because slavery was a long time, so we got to break this down a little bit more. I have so much more to talk about in the next part, so let's get more into hair routines during slavery in the next video. Please make sure that you like and share this video. This is very important information. You don't want to miss out on the next video. Thank you guys so much for the support. Please make sure that you support my black owned business. I do have hair oils that I have that are for sale. Some of them are on sale right now. Make sure you click the link in my bio. Everything is there. Ombre alert, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.